Good morning, my fellow BMX kids. It's your boy G here from Hybrid BMX. On today's episode, we are going to be going over a frame that I just purchased that I will be riding personally. And also, we're going to be going over how you should ship items. Because some people, when you buy items from them, just somehow don't know how to ship them. And we're going to go over what is going to be new within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Okay, so first right off the bat, I want to show you guys the new frame I just purchased about a week or two ago now. But I was working on it for a little bit, and I kind of wanted to wait and have more content spread out a little bit farther because I'm doing it weekly. So what I bought for myself, even though I shouldn't be buying things for myself, I'm trying to start a business, sometimes you see a deal, it's just too good to be true, and so you got to jump on it while you got the chance. So I have always wanted a Sunday. I have wanted a Sunday bike since they first came out, since they were prototyping. And I went ahead and said, you know what? It's time. It's time to purchase one. So, one of the guys that I used to ride with growing up, I rode with several times, had this guy. It is a Sunday Primer. It's a 21-inch top tube. I would have rather had a 22, but I'm just not there yet. So hopefully I'll get a 22 eventually here. But yeah, the Sunday Bikes primer frame, which I'm going to be using some parts that I have in my catalog in order to suit this thing up unless I find other parts online. I've got this pair of GT forks that I've been currently sanding up and cleaning up. I love how they have these curved like built-in gussets for the axles. I just love how that's gusseted in there and welded in there. Just looks like a really strong weld. Really cool design. I probably won't ride these forever. These will probably get sold eventually. But they looked cool for now. I also have this set of Stollen bars that are, I never measured them. Let's measure them real quick. Let me grab a tape measure. Give you guys, I should have one right here. Yep, I do. It's nice when you have your toolbox right next to your camera. So let's see what the rise is on these guys. Rise is, it's saying 7. It's saying 7.5. But I'm gonna guess it's more like 9.5 rise. I guess on these bars, they're pretty big. They're pretty decent sized bars. I guess they're not quite 9.5. So, but there's that. And then I also have been working on, I've got this seat that I built. Hold on just a second, guys. Got the youngest one calling me. So we'll come back to this video in just a sec. Alright, and we're back. Sorry guys, it's the life of being at home with a family during COVID. And your job is your home as well. So I have to do this for two businesses because when I'm also doing, when my wife and I do lives for our mask business, it's the same exact thing. We do sewing and upholstery, which is what I was going to get to with this bike seat. I custom made this bike seat. It's originally some kind of kink pivotal seat. What I did is I just took the original like vinyl off of it, and I replaced it with fabric that I've sewn myself. I started off with like a lime green in the bottom, and then I took strips of this purple, like marbled, and this gray marbled fabric, and I cut strips, and I laid them out in like kind of like a hash pattern. So I'm going to be making these. If you guys want a custom order kind of fabric, my wife's site is Katie-Bug Custom Design, but it'd be better for you to get a hold of me on Hybrid BMX bike repairs and sales. Get a hold of me on there on Facebook. That's again Hybrid BMX bike repair and sales on Facebook. Get a hold of me, say, hey, look, I'm looking to do a custom BMX seat, and you can tell me what kind of fabrics you're looking for, and I can do this for you. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling and the price of the fabric, plus obviously a little bit of labor cost. Probably run you about the same as it would for your typical brand new seat. So if you can find yourself a good used seat, or you want me to find you or source you a used seat, I'm going to be buying some here shortly to do more of these for our actual order bikes that I'm building. But this would be, hi. So this would be probably about $40, $50 is what I'm guessing, to do a complete custom seat. So obviously that's not including the price of the seat. The price of the seat is probably going to be roughly about $10 for a used seat. So if you can find a used seat, and I can do the pivotal, obviously you can see I put the pivotal rubber back in and sewn all around it. So it's extra strong. With this one, I wish I would have went a little bit farther with the fabric, but because it's my own personal one, obviously it'll be a little bit different when you buy the actual, your actual one. I will have that mapped out, but because this was kind of like a rough draft for myself, I didn't worry too much about that. But it'll look roughly like this, so probably better. So there's that, custom seats. Please, please, please message me if you want one. I know it's a big thing right now. So, and then I picked up this sprocket for my bike. And then you guys also know that I have purple wheels. So that's part of it as well. But I think that'll look pretty dope. I think I was going to go over the bars. We were going over the bars. So I think these are like, I don't know, they're probably not a huge rise, but they're bigger than the bars I have currently. So eventually I'll probably replace these with a different pair of bars. But I'm filming the video. What are you doing?
I'm filming this way.
Film it that way?
Yeah, that way.
Well, I'm making it for the BMX shop.
Not this way.
Not that way? He thinks I should do it that way. Can you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Hi. You gonna go watch Cars?
Let's go watch Crash Cars.
You watch Crash Cars? There's another little BMX kid. That's Maverick. Mason's in school right now.
Come on, baby.
So, and the wife's upstairs. Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
So, that's my beautiful life. So, let's go over now, instead of having hash videos, let's just go over what I need to do because I have a doctor's appointment this morning. So, we're going to go over, that's why I want to get this video done. I was going to get it done yesterday, but stuff happens. Alright, so, I'm going to first show you guys parts I got in for this frame. I'll show you real quick. I've been waiting to build this bike for a while now. I believe it's a kink curb from back in the day. I'm not 100% sure. But we've got a kink, I believe it's a kink curb from probably like 2010 era. Not in bad shape. It's a little scratched up here and there, you know, but no dents, which is nice. Not a single dent in the frame, just scratches from being kind of tossed around and not really cared about too much. I think the guy I bought off of it was going to throw it to the scrapyard, and I just told him absolutely not. You're not doing that, I'll buy it off of you. But like telltale signs that it's probably like mid-2000s or like 2010 era is this. They were doing this square notched piece for the brake, the micro tuner on the brake. It's kind of very common, but the thing that makes me think it's a little bit later 2000s is the integrated headset, because that was kind of a new thing, and you wouldn't have seen it on a lower end kink. So again, I don't think it's like a signature series bike or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's like a kink curve. Pretty sure. But anyway, I bought parts for it so I could finish it off and build it as a complete bike. Because I've got, let's see, let's put this guy down. So there's the frame that I'm planning on building up. Also, the Haro is going to be getting cleaned up, and I think I'm just going to sell it, guys. I love it, but it's not something that I need to keep hanging on to, so that bike is probably going to be listed up for sale here shortly after I clean it up. But I got these nice, they need cleaned up, but these nice Eastern Bikes pedals that are kind of like the same color as the frame, almost. They're almost like a tan color almost, or like a beige. So, and it looks like it was barely ridden. Like, there's a couple spots where it's like worn a little bit from being laid on its side, whatever bike it was on before. But other than that, like, the pegs are still pretty good. I'm missing one right here, but all the rest of the foot pegs are pretty good. So they're like brand new pedals, pretty much. Got some scuffs and scratches and dirt, but they can clean up pretty nice. I got a nice KMC Z chain, and I got a pair of 3-piece cranks as well that are mid bottom bracket with all the washers and cones and everything I need. And it came with this crappy little sprocket, which this was the one part of the purchase that I wasn't like super stoked on. I had one of these when I was a kid and I loved it, but this one's kind of messed up. It got like, I don't know if they chewed on it or what, but this is what it looks like. It looks like they like chewed it out. I don't know how you do this, but either way, the cool thing about these Eastern Medusa sprockets is you can kind of pretty much choose any of these holes to use as your where your crank bolt goes through the sprocket bolt. It doesn't look like it's super ovalized, so it looks like it's still saved. I know it's like up here, it looks like it's pretty ovalized, but it's actually just some worn out metal. I'll probably just clean it up and smooth it out. And honestly, I'll probably sand it down and repaint it lime green to fit my bike potentially, or I'll keep it the anodized red and I'll put it on another bike that I'm planning on building, which is the Stolen. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave that a raw color or if I want to move on to something. I want to kind of make it like a medieval, like dirt bike kind of theme, like my Redline was. But going back to the King Curb that I'm building, I've got these Alienation plain black rims, also known as Alienation PBRs, which I put the original sticker back on because I thought it was hilarious that I painted them white and they're plain black rims. So I'm going to be buying some white nipples for it. He said nipples. Or I'm sorry, white. Like blue, like sky blue nipples for it, and then running black spokes. And they will be laced to a set of Mission hubs. So, that is that. Now, how this guy shipped this stuff is, well, the point of this video was really this. Because today I had to ship out the brakes from the Diacomp MX 1000 brakes that I sold on eBay. They actually sold, woohoo, which was great. I was very excited about that. But I want to show you guys how not to ship an item, because it's important. I'm not hating on this guy because at least the parts came and like you guys saw, they were in decent condition. I knew what I was paying for. He was a very good lister, so I'm not doing this to talk crap on his listing on eBay or on his parts that he sent me. Very good, very fair price. He actually called me because somehow my address on eBay had been forever and it didn't want to ship right, and it became a mess. So he ended up just relisting it, and I buy it now, so that way I could actually get these parts, which was really cool of him. So I'm not talking crap on the guy that shipped this. I'm just being a little critical of, some positive criticism about how you should pack things when you ship them to somebody, especially if you want to have an eBay selling business where you're selling bike parts to people. I knew that, these are kind of beat up. I get it, but you should still try to do a little bit better. So, this is the way the package came. I mean, a little bit. It was a little bit less bent up as this because I just kind of pulled the tape off because it had 2 rounds of tape just around this part, and it was like ripped open and popped out. That's not always his fault. That can be UPS. Or I'm sorry, US Postal Service. USPS. So, but this is the way it came to me. So first off, I don't really mind this. This isn't a big deal. The paper, that's really not a big deal. I get that. People use paper all the time. I mean, not that this will do anything to protect your bike parts at all, because it will not. And then to kind of, and honestly, when I first opened this package, I got suspect because of the way stuff was written on the side of the box. Labels are better, guys. If you can print a label, print a label. I'm going to start doing that with my business once my wife and I figure out how to use Pirate Ship. And we're going to do that with both of our businesses. We're going to print out labels and make it nice and neat rather than doing it this way, because this way is really sketchy. First off, he didn't have his actual, I think he did have his name on the box. I don't even know. But I hardly knew even what this was until it said my name on the side of the box, and I went, oh, okay, this is the bike parts. But like I said, we have the paper, which, that's not the part that threw me off. The part that threw me off was water bottles that, I don't know if you guys can see that, are used with something. I don't know if that's tea or what that is. That could be pee for all I know. I mean, I don't know if you're peeing that color, then that's probably not good. Yeah, that's one of 2 water bottles, used water bottles that are empty. Yeah. All the way from Utah. Cool. And then the smaller components were wrapped in this grape. I'm sure they tasted really good, but they were grape frozen fruit bars. So that was something that he did. He left me that nice little treat in there. And then we have more paper. And more paper. And then here is a, here's a shipping label. This is what kills me, guys. And he's like a 5-star seller. That's why I don't understand. But here's an Amazon return for a woman's snakeskin leopard reversible bikini set swimsuit 2-piece, 1 shoulder swimwear. And then some more little, packaging and labeling. Just throw it in there, whatever, it works. Right? Okay, so that, like I said, I'm glad I got the parts. I'm glad they shipped right. Nothing got broken in shipping. But do not ship this way. Because to me, honestly, if it was a frame and it showed up like this and something was bent, I would lose my shit. Just being honest. I would lose my ever-loving mind on somebody. If I got a bent dropout or something like that, I paid like $100 some odd, I would lose my shit. Because these parts, $50. I mean, I couldn't even get the cranks for $50. Whatever. Not a big deal. But they are used parts, which I also get. Not a big deal with the packaging. But I'm a refurbisher. So for me, it's important that it packs well. Okay, so what I do is, we order from Amazon quite a bit. So I had this box, which will work really well for the brakes. And it already came with this nice little airy packaging stuff. But if you don't have a box, it's very simple. You don't even have to go to the UPS store or the US Postal Service. You can go to Walmart, go just about anywhere and find shipping packaging. Okay, a box will cost you maybe $1. Depending on the size of the box. And then packing peanuts or something like that, again, stupid cheap. They're not trying to charge you an arm and a leg to pack and ship something. And eBay does a really good job of making sure you have enough money on the back end for your shipping. I mean, I think I got $10 to ship this. It probably won't even cost that. It might go over a little bit. That's okay. But it's more important that your customer sees that you care enough to ship something nicely, rather than just throwing it together and, oh, here you go, here's your product, bye. I mean, this is only going to cost me, I only made maybe $15 off this. Made maybe $15 off of these brakes, but that's not the point. The point is, I sell these and they make me some money. And so because I made some money off of these, here's the Diacomp MX1000 brakes going out to the wonderful person who purchased them. Thank you very much for purchasing them. And so what we do is we place them within the space wrap. Make sure the cable gets pushed around so it fits in there good. There we go. Alright, and then we gotta make sure we have enough space for clearance, guys. So make sure you have enough space for clearance so that everything fits nicely. Okay. We'll put the brake levers in. Which honestly, the brake levers will pretty much be okay. They're pretty solid. But still, you package it nicely. It shows that you care. When you show that you care, you're probably going to have... This guy may never buy from me again, but that's not the point. The point is, if you show you care, people care back. And usually want to purchase from you again, or at least they'll leave you a good review. And say, hey, this guy's reputable. You should use him. Very honest, very knowledgeable. That's the kind of stuff you want to hear. There we go. Okay, so now, here, let me get the camera down here. That is how you should package something. You don't have to have this special air stuff. You can just use packing peanuts. It's fine. You can even use paper. If you squish it up and put it in the right spots, that's fine. Get a box that fits and make sure that you use proper packaging. Okay. And then, obviously, do it at home. Don't get packing tape from the packing store. Do it yourself. Use packaging tape, tape it 3 times. I don't have it down here, otherwise I'd do it. But do it like 2 or 3 times across it to make sure it's nice and tight and secure. And then you write the customer's address on it and your address, and you're all done. And that's that. That's how you should ship stuff. So, I hope that was educational for you guys. I know it was definitely an interesting thing for me because I opened it up and went, But, alright guys, that will be it for today's episode. On next week's episode, we'll probably go over taking the Dave Mirra 540 Air Haro apart and cleaning it up and getting the hubs fixed and everything, because they're a little bit wonky for some reason. I think it's just worn from years of not being oiled or greased. So we'll clean that all up, take it all apart, put it all back together. And hopefully by next week we'll have some momentum on the kink that I'm building, and maybe some more progress on the Sunday as well. So anyways guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, even though there's not much of the week left. And I will catch you next week on Hybrid BMX. Peace, love, love, rock, deuces.